Yeah, yeah, you know what it is. Shield TV, let's make it loud. D-Roy and David, we're here to rock the crowd. Get the scoop, get the hype, we turn it up. WGE News, we bring the heat. Fill your cup from the ring to the screen. Don't blink, don't sleep. We got Roman and Seth, the kings that you keep. Agenda's flying high with the titles on the line. It's Shield TV, we're making sure you shine. Get your updates straight, no time for delay. This is the place where the legends play. Get all your WWE news here. Shield TV, make it crystal clear. D-Roy and David, bringing that fire. Roman and Seth,
He's here! He's here! He's here! Roman Reigns is here!
taking it higher.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Shield TV. I'm your host, Darren Ryan. Wow, so coming off a really good SummerSlam. I mean, a lot of things happened, especially with both endings to night 1 and night 2. I mean, what a way to end both nights with a bang. I mean, it's just Seth Rollins, the man himself. I kind of had a feeling that he was going to cash in. Like, kind of had a feeling that maybe he was injured, but not that serious. But no, this dude just fucking straight up come out there on the stage, drop them fucking crutches real quick, and then just fucking unpeeled that cast, walked that ring. I was like, yep, bro's about to cash in. It's a fucking wrap. I mean, Seth Rollins with the Money in the Bank, you always know that he's going to end up stealing the show. He did it his first cash in, which is still iconic to this day. When he cashed in, made it a triple threat between him, Roman Reigns, and Brock Lesnar. That will forever be iconic to me, that cash in. But, I mean, tough, really tough that it happened the way it did, because I was extremely happy for CM Punk to finally get another championship at the expense of Gunther, who, from what I'm hearing, is out indefinitely. So hopefully, Gunther can make a strong recovery and come back, which I know he will. But man, fucking the ending of night 1, top notch, and then Seth, man, just a mass manipulator. What's going on, A-Dub?
What's good, Darren? Sorry I couldn't jump on sooner. I'm just a little busy cleaning up in here.
Oh, it's all good. Just going over SummerSlam, man. Like, night 1 ending, perfect to me. And then, night 2 is just pretty much like, hold my beer.
All right. But when it comes down to what happened and what I've seen so far, it doesn't surprise me that much, especially when it comes to Seth Rollins cashing in. It was only a matter of time.
Right.
Yeah, he definitely fooled a lot of people. It looked to me like he fooled some people with his injury, but we knew that cash in was going to come sooner than later.
Funniest.
And then what happened the night after on Raw said enough to me about it. Like, you're looking at Evolution 2.0 when it comes to that faction for Seth Rollins.
Yep.
The The only thing I'm not finding, the only thing I cannot make much sense of is Bronson Reed's obsession with stealing Roman's shoes.
The tribal thief. It's like that to me was weird when it first happened. I was like, is this dude really fucking mugging Roman right now? And then it
Yeah,
comes
you
out.
beat the man down and
wearing it.
you beat the man down. You've seen it twice in a row. You beat the man down and take his sneakers. Like how many more pairs you got to take from this guy?
I don't know. I think it's more or less him having a session with Jordan shoes. Like, man, I never had these growing up. Fucking Roman's got them.
Or actually, you want to collect them as a trophy over beating down the original tribal chief.
True, that too. Or he's looking to make a score on eBay. It's like, yeah, I got these off Roman Reigns. Selling these for this much.
But I just say everything is just building up accordingly to me, as far as if you have to think of a storyline that stands out as a matter of who between CM Punk and Roman Reigns will get their just due in terms of revenge against Paul Heyman for his betrayal for both of them.
Yeah.
Like Roman Reigns hit the nail hard on him to say that you betrayed the tribal chief for a friend you haven't talked to in a long time, and you stabbed that same person in the back for Seth Rollins.
Right. I think the funniest reaction to people tripping out about Seth faking his injury was at Adam Pearce on Monday.
Yeah, I still feel like there needs to be more done with that storyline about Paul Heyman's portrayal of both CM Punk and Roman Reigns, because that's what led to that. Because that's really what led to the faction for Seth Rollins in the first place, was just Paul Heyman's betrayal failed to align with him.
Now, do you think there's a possibility that he could do the same thing to Seth and realign himself back with Brock?
Depends on what kind of build you get for it, because we know Paul Heyman has never been the trustworthy type to where he's pretty much stabbed a lot of people in the back. He betrayed Brock Lesnar once before. He did betray Roman and CM Punk already. Like, if there's ever been a rule Paul Heyman threw out there before back in the day that I remember, is that you're not supposed to ever trust Paul Heyman. You trust his greed as a businessman when it comes to how he wants to function. Like, that's the only thing that's going to keep Paul Heyman loyal, is what kind of success he has next to the individual that's on top. And if Seth Rollins ever falls off, that'll be the right time for Paul Heyman to consider, yeah, I'll betray him and find another one who can show me success.
I think if it's not Brock, I think it could be Breakker. Could be that next person that he jump frogs to.
Yeah. That could be a possibility too. Like, I gave that group the name of Evolution 2.0 because it functions almost accordingly to the first Evolution faction that Triple H put together, where Triple H was the present as the champion. You had Ric Flair representing the past as far as the historical one. Had two different superstars who were future champions down the road in Randy Orton and you got that same kind of pairing to where you got two different guys who can be future champions in their own right with the right build in the future, in Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed.
Yep. I think all this is like just setting up for War Games. where it's gonna be like Seth versus Roman's side.
And if I know Roman as well as I think I do, he'll want to have Jey Uso as one of the members of his team, along with some other members of the bloodline of the original bloodline. Like that, like if there's a certain character arc that should be a thing with Roman Reigns is a man who fell off the mountaintop where he was at WrestleMania, who's on a mission to retrieve his old glory back as the tribal chief.
Right.
That has to be the kind of path and journey that Roman Reigns could be on right now.
Right. And then we could see, like, on the road to War Games, we could see Solo teaming up with Seth.
Yeah, him and the MTF, that faction on SmackDown. Yeah, that could be a thing. I still find it crazy to think about another bloodline on SmackDown who just hasn't had the kind of build the kind of build and path that the original ones had. At least with Roman Reigns, you had a intriguing storyline with that bloodline, but the one that Solo Sikoa has doesn't seem to be getting that kind of build or direction. Like if you're going to replace Roman Reigns as a tribal chief, you should have had at least given Solo the wins where they matter most, to where he earned that Ulufala and earned the name tribal chief, to where if he's going to be Roman Reigns' replacement, at least make sure he had the necessary wins in certain matches to be that kind of replacement. Yeah, you give him the U.S. title, but it's not like he's doing much with it, especially with that head-on feud with Jacob Fatu.
Yeah. That and bringing his differences back with Jimmy too, going back to the original fallout of the original bloodline.
Yeah. Well, personally, I feel like Jimmy himself is just around as filler in terms of backup for Jacob Fatu. But the thing is, like, I think there should be more done with Jimmy Uso. So just like when it came to back when they split up the Usos and had them go battle each other at WrestleMania, I just wasn't a fan of that match, given the fact that there wasn't much build between those two brothers to where they could have battled each other like they did.
Yeah.
When they gave that match between the two brothers, at least Jey Uso had an identity about himself as main event Jey Uso. He had the necessary build to his character to where he could ride Solo, but the same could not be said with Jimmy Uso himself.
Yeah, they haven't really done much with Jimmy, and I'm just like sitting here like, this dude's got all the talent in the world. There's no reason why he's not a singles champion yet.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, Yoli?
What's going on, Yoli? But
another interesting thing is everybody fighting over Seth now. You got CM Punk and you got LA Knight basically fighting over who's gonna get that match. I think it could be a triple threat.
Me too. But even so, if there's one, when it comes to LA Knight, I'm really not liking the position he's in. Given his talent not just in the ring, but even with his mic skills, this is a guy who I think WWE is nearly burying away, who should not be buried, given everything he has to offer when it comes to his mic skills and in ring work, like LA Knight. I once been told told that he has the combination where he's a combination of Stone Cold and The Rock, and like Stone Cold as far as that reckless rebel type concept, and The Rock when it comes to his mic skills, the way he could royally diss anybody. The man himself's got too much going on to be buried beneath the main event the way he does.
Yeah, I feel like it doesn't make any sense to like tease pushing him, and then when he gets up there, and then drop him back down.
Yeah, like he's taking loss after loss in the main event so much that I felt that's the unnecessary thing to happen to him.
Yeah. Then the whole thing's funny
And
with
and
this
and
reunion.
the
Oh,
sad
wow.
part about sorry about that, but I think the sad part about LA Knight being buried is that this is a guy who's beyond over with the fans that should not, and this is a guy who's pretty much over with the fans. Like this is some of the many mistakes that I've seen WWE make too many times that I really cannot get behind at times. That has me at odds with the network is that they will bury certain people that should not be buried that are over with the crowd, and WWE pays those same folks no mind.
Yeah, like Karrion Kross.
Yup, that's another one that should not be buried like he is with much promise.
Yep. Or Sami Zayn.
Yup, and the thing he definitely had, and he was definitely another contributor to that bloodline storyline when it came to what he had to offer in it. As far as that Mick Foley vibe that he gives off, as far as that true underdog story for himself. The
Yep.
guy who could make you laugh and cry at the same time, giving his underdog story and comedy reprieve at times. But but one idea that I do like for is, yeah, let Sami Zayn be the next guy to feud with Solo Sikoa for that U.S. title.
Ooh, yeah. That'd be a good matchup.
That's one feud I don't mind. And if anything else I could definitely enjoy is the way the tag team division looks on SmackDown.
Oh yeah.
With all the like that tag team division is definitely looking very good with all the tag teams that are battling each other right now, and I'm even more than okay and happy with the Wyatt Six holding the tag team titles.
Yeah, me too. This is the best I've seen the tag team division on SmackDown. I'm really enjoying it.
And the Wyatt Six themselves holding the titles as a means of keeping the spirit of Bray Wyatt alive and their aura. Yeah, I think that's the right move for SmackDown. Like that group, that faction itself should have a build to where they should be able to terrify everybody in the same manner that Bray Wyatt's faction terrified most people.
Now, how long until we see Uncle Howdy himself get into like a singles feud with somebody?
I would personally think that depends on who gets his attention that is worth feuding with. Maybe the Wyatt Six could be built up as that kind of faction that rival Solo Sikoa's group, maybe. Like you already see two different factions roaming on SmackDown, like Solo Sikoa's MFT, and then there's the Wyatt Six. At some point, those two could clash with each other to see who's the more dominant faction to run SmackDown.
Right. Or it could be a clash between Wyatt Six and Legado del Fantasma.
Yeah, that could work too.
Now, when it comes to the tag team division on Raw, I mean, they have to do something about that tag team division. It's not
Yeah,
really entertaining.
certainly isn't. Especially when you're not seeing the Judgment Day, Finn Balor and his part Balor and them defending those titles very little. I mean, the most that if there was a time they entertained, it could have been at a time where you had it may have been at the time somebody else was holding those titles. I mean, it's one thing for the Judgment Day to be having those championships, but if I it would fare better if you see certain other tag teams that would battle each other out to see who makes them defend those titles. I
Right.
mean, you got like the only tag teams I see that are credible to challenge them is gonna be the New Day and American Made.
Yep. New Day, American Made. Possibly this new alliance between McIntyre and Paul.
The Logan Paul, yeah, maybe.
I'm like, why are they fucking carrying it them over from one pay-per-view teaming up to another just for them to go after Cena and fucking Rhodes? Like, come on. Like, I get it. You did it at SummerSlam because of Jelly Roll, but come on, man. Again.
Yeah, yeah, and the thing is like being so John Cena turn now it's just that kind of story to where he's John Cena's new enemy and personally when I look back on it I'm thinking John Cena's heel turn was not as great as one would have thought it'd be. I mean
Right.
sure I'm sure a lot of people wanted to see a heel turn from John Cena but the heel run that he had just was a bit lackluster in a way. Like
Yeah.
if you like if they were gonna make that kind of change, at least make make John Cena look and feel more justifiable in terms of that heel turn. And
Yeah.
even then he right. And even then as he turned, the problem I had was who was there at the time it happened. Travis Young and The Rock. Like if you're gonna have Cena sell his soul to the final boss, at least have the final boss make make other appearances on the show to give his own take about it as far as talking about how John Cena could be justified in changing like he did.
Exactly.
Especially when the story usually revolved around him, when the story was usually revolving around him. And another reason why people could turn on The Rock is like a year ago, The Rock gave his promise to where he would be the guy that challenges Cody at the next WrestleMania, since The Rock owns a victory over Cody in a tag team match with his cousin Roman Reigns.
Yep.
That should have had more build. That should have been given a lot more build as far as the year passed. Even during Cody Rhodes' reign, that cloud of The Rock of the final boss just never left.
Right. You think we're gonna see the final boss now that Rhodes is champion again?
With Seth Rollins being champion, I'm not so sure.
With Rhodes.
With Cody Rhodes being champion, possibly. But given how The Rock himself has been out there and outspoken about not being that much of a fan, not being a fan of Cody Rhodes at all, there's a good chance he show his face on WWE one way or another, especially given how especially with the connection to TKO being a thing. At some point, we may see The Rock show up.
Right. It's also going to be interesting to see what happens if if we see Punk and The Rock face to face, because I remember when Punk gave that promo, basically going after The Rock and John Cena. I think there could be some tension there between Punk and The Rock.
Well, there's even history between those two as far as CM Punk has not forgotten how The Rock beat him in their last match together for the championship. Even that has to be a thing that CM Punk could think about too.
Right, because if I'm not mistaken, he just like showed up out of the blue and was basically saying that he wanted to win another championship and shit. Didn't really have to fight for it, like to be number one contender. He just kind of like puts himself in those type of matches. Like later on in his career, he's just like, well, I've done this much in the company. I shouldn't have to have a number one contender match.
Yeah, well, speaking of what's left, like now, like the one thing that I've never thought, the one thing we get to see now is for John Cena. He may go out on a high note, but now he has to face somebody that has been the most physical rival for him to battle against, being Brock Lesnar.
Yep.
And personally, I personally think Brock Lesnar, if there was he should have been brought back at a time that John Cena was holding the championship, as far as being that possible threat, the guy who takes, like, if there was anybody now don't get me wrong, Cody Rhodes was justified to take the belt off of Cena, but maybe if there was somebody else who I prefer take the belt off of Cena, at some point in time before he officially retires, it should be Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. Given the history between those two when they're younger on SmackDown, and when Brock Lesnar came back in 2012, F5 Cena, and then from there it's just like that's
back and forth rivalries, like Lesnar. Like Lesnar built the promo of the suplex machine, taking with all those suplexes he hit on John Cena before.
Yep. That is one thorn that Cena has had in his side, you could say, through his career, is the thorn of Brock Lesnar.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was also a big surprise to everybody seeing him return at SummerSlam, given the circumstances that he's been under, going on with the legal stuff. But I guess Khan and Triple H had talked to him on the side, from what Michael Cole said, told him that it was his time for him to come home. And it was pretty much like John Cena requested, like, he's in his final run. He wants to fight Brock Lesnar, like, and told him, like, pretty much, like, can you please make it happen?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he gets his wish, but maybe my thing is, on a personal note, maybe John Cena, like, one would think if there was a time Brock Lesnar came back, it should have been during John Cena's run as a champion, as a heel. Like, maybe a heel John Cena versus Brock Lesnar would be a more intriguing matchup, as opposed to the constant face John Cena against Lesnar that we've seen many times before.
Yeah, I really wanted to see heel John Cena versus, like, a babyface Brock Lesnar.
I'd say Brock Lesnar is more of a tweener than a face. Like, sure, he may fight against heels, but he will still be much of a heel in the face of other wrestlers himself. So you could classify Brock in some ways to be a tweener to some wrestlers out there. Let him be like he could come in as a tweener, just like a group I remember back then that was much of a tweener, being the Hurt Business that MVP
Nope.
ran. Like they could be heels in terms of committing dastardly deeds, but they operate like baby faces as far as not backing down and running away from anyone that challenges them.
Right. Yep.
And I like to think we should see more factions just like those. And if there's a faction I think that can come close to being a tweener in terms of being both a heel and baby facing their way, it should be the Wyatt Six.
Yes. Yes. Now, what do you like about this? Now that Charlotte and Alexa are
Alexa
champ.
Bliss.
Yep.
To me, this gives Charlotte Flair a place to be fresh, to start off fresh and not be hailed over as this main event status quo queen that hogs the spotlight constantly. Like, if there's a reason some people did not care for or like Charlotte Flair so much, is because she was always being put in that spot where she shouldn't be. Like, she didn't earn the spot to be a main eventer, and she was always unbeatable in the pay-per-views. Like, once she would just be put in the main event without any probable cause, without any reasons, without a push. So I'm thinking her being pushed down in a tag team with Alexa Bliss, give her a fresh reprieve and a fresh start off fresh, and be relieved of not having to be thrown into the main event so much. It gives her a place where she can start fresh and not have to worry too much about her ego as the queen, and people will get behind her and start liking her again. I mean, that pretty much has to be the kind of thing that's going on. Like, this back and forth between Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss being friends, this kind of build of a tag team for them together. It just seems like a good place for Charlotte Flair, where she could finally be over and be much more loved as a superstar. And from there, she gets a fresh start in terms of any kind of run she may get in the future.
Yeah, and then you also on top of that is also a good thing for Alexa Bliss, because as Charlotte's coming down, Bliss is trying to go back up.
And it is, and the dynamic of those two bumping heads about being friends or not as entertaining in itself as a story.
Yep. Now, do you think we're ever gonna see Nikki Cross in action against females, like as terms of some high intensity rivalry matches, or like her getting into any title pictures?
Perhaps, yeah, I like to see Nikki Cross compete in matches more, especially as a means of what helps the Wyatt Six become even more dominant and stronger as a faction. Like, everybody within that faction should see some action in the ring at one point or another. And I think there will come a time Nikki Cross has to stand out on her own and start becoming much more relevant to that faction in her own right. It's just a matter of the right opponent that comes her way.
I think that right opponent could be, like, build up Nikki Cross. I think that right opponent could be Becky Lynch.
Perhaps so. But then I think a more intriguing feud could be Alexa Bliss versus Nikki Cross, especially when it comes to a certain fun fact that some people don't know about, is how Alexa Bliss has ties of her own to the late Bray Wyatt when it came to her being under her puppet. Like, who is the real witch who could be the real dark witch for the Wyatts between Nikki
Yeah.
Cross and Alexa Bliss, perhaps. Like
Yeah.
you got to remember, Alexa Bliss's persona was mostly built off of her allegiance to Bray Wyatt at one time.
Yep. Exactly.
And when I think a lot about the women, I'd say so far the women's division could be much more intriguing, given how I'd say the right women are the champions that are champions they got now are the right people that should be champion. Like Tiffany Stratton is still good in my eyes to remain champion as she is, and you got Naomi cashing in to become champion on Raw, which I think was the right
I really
move,
like that.
especially when it comes to her persona and her gimmick as far as proceed with caution. Like she is just that kind of funny to watch.
I think that was a really big boost for that SmackDown from her going from SmackDown, getting out of that feud with Jade Cargill, moving on to like the better pastures of going into Monday Night Raw with the Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. Like it's just been amazing to see her on Raw with those two.
And personally, I think the more I think about Jade Cargill and Naomi, the more I think there could be a move that be made where Jade Cargill could shift her focus to wanting to still want to get back at Naomi. I mean, because I like to think Jade Cargill will never forgive or forget what Naomi did to her before that. Somewhere along the line, she'll want to transfer her way to Raw and go after Naomi for that title, or maybe she shifts her focus somewhere else now. But when I think of Jade Cargill, I'm personally thinking that she should have started out in NXT as opposed to being put on the main roster off rip already. And one of the reasons I say that is a matter of people have been talking a big deal about how Jade Cargill still has to improve her in-ring work. Like she still seems and looks very green when it comes to her in-ring ability. And she should have been put on NXT in order to improve and build on that.
Yeah, and let her character build up before putting her on the main roster.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like that Storm persona itself is just not looking very, very intriguing in most people's eyes either. I mean, the tag team run she did with Bianca Belair seemed okay, but it was like, I'm not sure how long it'll work given how off screen those two didn't really like each other.
Yeah. It was almost like they were almost like forced to be with each other, as opposed to Bianca being that singles beast of a competitor that we know her to be.
Right? And the thing now is maybe, I'm sure if there's anything that will make Jade Cargill more interesting with her place is maybe there should be a feud between her and Bianca Belair. Like, if there's a reason why you want to have a feud between those two, it's a matter of, I'm sure Jade Cargill could still have her suspicions with Bianca Belair. Like, how much did Bianca know about what Naomi did to Jade Cargill? Like, maybe Bianca Belair could have been the one behind the scenes plotting that kind of move for her and Jade Cargill to be split up in the first place.
Right.
I mean, sure it was an ideal case that Naomi could have been the one who did it, but perhaps Naomi could have had somebody in her ear who gave her that plot to do it in the first place.
Exactly.
And that could be the kind of build you have for a feud between Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. I mean, it's just like back in the day when it came down to the mystery of who ran over Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
Fingers
Yep.
were like back then. You saw fingers were being pointed at The Rock, given how The Rock had pretty much benefited the most from Stone Cold getting ran over. But in truth, it was someone close to The Rock and Rikishi. But you had Triple H as the mastermind behind orchestrating that whole plot for Stone Cold to get ran over in the first place.
Yep.
It could be that kind. The same thing could take place in a women's division, as far as Bianca Belair could be the mastermind behind Jade Cargill being out of action before, but Naomi was the culprit who committed it.
Yeah. I think that would be a really good build up for a feud. Just have it where like they get in the feud and she's pretty much like yeah, I was behind it, and then have her bring up how she's the reason why they had to take her out is because she's unsafe and green in the ring, and then make her build up her character to try to prove people wrong that she's not this person that's going to be green.
Yeah, like Reckless in the ring, you know, that kind of story. That kind of story could have been with Nia Jax once before. Like
Yep.
Nia Jax had her story about she was unorthodox and reckless in the ring at times.
Yep. That's another good point. Now, how do you feel about Nikki Bella coming back?
If it's one thing to think about for her to come back, it's a matter of maybe give that title any kind of rep. At least it gives Becky Lynch somebody else to challenge as far as proving being how better the era is that Becky Lynch is running, as opposed to the one that Nikki Bella was running, like when she was the top champion before. Just the nostalgia feel like the earlier years when Becky Lynch was part of a group known as PCB, when it was her, Becky Lynch, Charlotte, and
Sasha.
yeah,
And,
yeah, when they I'm thinking back to that era when Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte Flair first were introduced into the WWE. The way they started a different era off of women's wrestling back then.
Yep.
That kind of feel you get when it comes to watching Brie, Nikki Bella, and Becky Lynch in a ring together.
I also thought it was really funny her promo that she hit on Nikki when she brought up John Cena.
Man, I thought that was too much of a big blow to Nikki Bella's position. Like, yeah, I thought she got buried when it came to that one.
I was like, damn, dude. It's like, right? It's like immediately.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
speaking of that, I think maybe there should be a place where Becky Lynch joins Seth Rollins and his faction, as far as making that faction even more intriguing.
Now that would actually be a really, really good thing, because I mean,
like for Seth Rollins and his wife Becky Lynch together to be the power couple on Raw, being able to run things in the same way Triple H and Stephanie McMahon did once before, that would be more than entertaining to see.
Oh yeah. Or I mean, one could kind of be like how like Triple H was with China, Seth could be like that with Becky.
Yeah.
Like Becky's doesn't have like the build of China, but she gives off that fear to other women because of who she is as the man.
Right. What's going on, Dan?
Rumors that might see at the next Saturday night's main event next month. Becky and Seth teaming up against Cena and Nikki.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
I'm not so sure if that even happened. Like, I
I'm
thought
not
that blow that Becky Lynch gave about Nikki and Cena not being a thing anymore was actually true.
Yeah. That was, yeah. Raw was, yeah. And quickly, I was at night one. You know, night one main event. I kept looking as you kept seeing. You were able to see like the entrance way in that. I'm like, I had an inkling something was going to happen in that with the briefcase. So him cashing in was sort of.
I mean, that was just like to see the way that it played out was just like it's just almost like watching a movie. Like he just comes out and like everybody's just thinking like, oh, he's just gonna come out and be like, yeah, I may be injured right now, but you gotta watch your back. Nope, just fucking straight up. I was like, what the fuck?
And then
It's like
next night when Brock, I'm like, all of a sudden, I heard Brock, that was a shock, and he was back.
Yeah.
The only reason he's back is Cena wanted him back one more time. But now we got to wait for another pay-per-view because we're going to have Logan Paul versus Cena in Clash in Paris. I'm like, oh, you brought back Brock, Let's just
need to see
a bigger pay-per-view.
They need to do something with fucking Drew McIntyre, not have him fucking pairing up with fucking Logan Paul, dude.
Yeah. Perhaps if there is any kind of direction Drew can possibly go is maybe put him in, maybe he should be chasing after another championship, that whether it be the U.S. title or the main event, but it's like Drew, like maybe Drew and Cody will feud with each other again eventually, especially with the kind of history they have.
Or we could see a feud between Cena and McIntyre.
Leading up to, that could be a matchup.
Yeah, it could be like, fucking Drew going after him, like, out with the old and with the new type thing. And then he could, bring up, be like, oh, well, you were the guy that was, when I was first here, you were the guy that was on top of the mountain taking away opportunities from guys like me, like something like that.
Mm-hmm. That could be something Drew can always remind Cena of is how he buried a handful of people that were more deserving than he was to be a part of the business. Drew in particular, especially and then John Cena could easily take jabs at him, trying to remind him about how he left the WWE before when he couldn't cut it as the chosen one.
Yep.
Right. I remember that. Was that what he was part of? Part of when he was part of what was that? 3MB.
3MB.
Yep, 3MB. Yes. His younger days when Vince McMahon introduced him as the chosen one.
Right.
Yeah.
One too.
What was his name in TNA? I can't remember. It wasn't
Drew
Galloway.
Okay, yeah.
Dude, he was fucking shredded. Like when I see him debut in TNA, I'm like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
He was a fucking beast in TNA.
And one couldn't remember, and I still remember the group he once put together known as the Rising, and one of those members has to be LA Knight. Knight was part of that same set group. And of course, he worked under another name back then, which was Eli Drake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
I remember him back then, but I was like, okay, I'm like trying to remember his name. I'm like, you know.
Could you imagine if Triple H gave him his Eli Drake back?
Oh, that'd be nice.
Well, I think LA Knight's working just fine for him.
True.
And maybe somewhere down the road, those two can actually have a feud of their own as far as recollection of certain days outside of WWE
Right.
in their promos.
Or those two could start a group back up. LA Knight and McIntyre again.
No, as long as we don't try to bring it back make it 2MB.
Maybe so.
The funniest thing from 3MB was when they were all like backstage like fucking like just chilling in the hallway, and then all of a sudden the fucking Shield shows up.
Right. Yeah.
Fucking Heath Slater just like, oh, there's only one of you.
Right. And then all three of them came together and just took them guys down. And my thing is that was only a comedy group just thrown together. 3MB was, for me, was just a comedy group thrown together as far as guys who would just job out in certain situations for other stars to get over.
Yep.
Like, it was really nothing else for those guys to do, so they just had no choice but to be thrown together like that.
Any thoughts on WrestleMania? Possibly in 2 years ending up in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, I keep hearing that.
Or it's going to be two wrestling. I can't see two WrestleManias in 1 year.
Yeah, fucking. I don't know. It'd be the first time that WWE's ventured out of having WrestleMania in the U.S.
Yeah, the SummerSlam's been out.
I would have thought Europe would have got WrestleMania if they were going to do that before anywhere else, because it would have made sense. Like the UK.
Like SummerSlam '92 was in the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that main event. Man, British Bulldog versus Bret Hart for the Intercontinental title. I'm like, yeah, you knew who was going to win because it was home country.
I wish they'd bring back like the European Championship.
Yeah.
Or bring back the United Kingdom Championship.
One title they can keep is that 24/7 crap.
Dude, when fucking Mick Foley came out with that fucking knapsack like he was fucking Santa Claus.
Yeah.
I'm like, comes out and I'm like, oh, okay, maybe it's the fucking hardcore belt. Maybe he's coming out like with this new modern hardcore championship. When he fucking pulls that thing out, I'm just like, what the fuck is that, dude?
R-Truth, what is he, a 40-something time? 24/7?
Yeah, that 24/7. You talking about that 24/7 championship?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and R-Truth was definitely Truth was definitely at his best and funniest when it came to running around with that championship, having to constantly make it irrelevant, and having to defend it every time somebody took it from him somewhere. Like, he always got, like, it was always funny to see him trying to run around everywhere with so many people trying to follow and chase him for that title.
See, what was I like with his new character would be him having the new modern hardcore championship and basically doing what Crash Holly did when he was like fucking fighting in like the fucking ball pits.
Yeah. Right. But then, speaking of R-Truth, I was pretty much strongly behind his return, and when you saw him cut his hair off and make that transformation to Ron Killings, I thought at this point going forward is like, yeah, this man's gonna be much more serious as a competitor and wrestler. Like, he ain't gonna be that kind of funny comedy relief guy anymore.
Well,
like he like he should be given, like after he made that change and cut his hair off, it was like, yeah, this is the kind of build WWE should work with, where our truth becomes much more serious, much more
What's up,
competitive in a build and be built up as a main event player then.
Right.
Yeah, yo, you guys played tonight, I believe, at what, 7?
Yeah.
Against the Jets or something?
Yeah, we played the Jets at 7 today.
One of the matches I liked at SummerSlam was that TLC match. Boy,
They're playing WWE's Mr. McMahon jet that got vandalized by DX.
Right.
how about when they when Vince McMahon's limo tried to pull out down his truck?
the chains of the fucking dude, they used to do so much shit to fucking Vince McMahon. Like going over the highlights of like all the sabotages that have happened to him. The best one was like when the fucking chain was like right on the fucking axle, the back axle of the limo.
I'm still not getting over when they got showered with shit by DX did.
What was that? Oh, what was that group? The idiot. One Dolph Ziggler came from.
Spirit Squad.
Yeah.
Spirit Squad, yeah. Yeah, he was definitely part of that group back then.
It's like, what the fuck, man? Back when that was fucking Shane and Vince's muscle was the fucking cheerleading squad.
Bunch of cheerleaders running.
Yeah, and then they tried after the group split up, they tried because like they had Ziggler off on his own. Then they tried that what is that? What the fuck was that guy's name? Zystra or whatever. They tried having him on his own.
Kenny Dystra.
Yeah, Dystra. They tried having him on his own, and it didn't even work out.
Yeah, like he still, like, to me, he didn't have much of any kind of charisma or aura about himself to where he could function as his own man and wrestler back when he left that group. And it's funny to me that Dolph Ziggler was more successful with his solo run than he was.
Right.
At least Dolph Ziggler had plenty of charisma and in-ring ability that he could make it on his own.
Right.
And he had the right kind of build up to where he could be that star that stood out.
I feel like now with guys getting let go now with WWE, you can pretty much say like, hey, it's not the end of the world. You could still get back to WWE because I mean, guys are going and getting their opportunities in TNA.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And what's even more intriguing to me is TNA, they and NXT both crossing over now. And you got folks holding two different. Yeah.
Dude, I watch all of his like reels and shit where he's like walking up with the fucking belt, and all these people are like sitting outside the fucking building.
And what's funny to me is I got more interest in NXT than I do with any other program, because at least when it comes to NXT, they're giving the right guys the right kind of runs and builds, even when it comes to their champions.
Right.
Like they're definitely doing a good. Like Obafemi has been definitely we good with his run as champion, and with his monster run, and let Trick Williams continue his work as the TNA champion.
Right.
Right. And then having guys like Moose coming into TNA too, also gonna help him out too.
Yeah, and I'm definitely like the build that they're having now with Moose making that transition over from TNA to NXT. That's even helpful.
Oh yeah.
I wish.
All right, guys. We're at that final hour. I want to thank A-Dub and Dan for hopping on today. We'll see you next Saturday. Hope everybody has a great weekend.
All right. See y'all later.
All right.
Yeah, yo, it's game time, ain't no messing around. Huddle Sports Network, the best in town. From NFL rumors to the latest trends, we got all your sports, just tune in, my friends. Catch us on Roku, Fire Stick, take your pick. Facebook, YouTube, where the action's slick. Daily shows that drop like a bomb. From 10 to 11, it's Ken and Ken, stay calm. Huddle up, catch the vibe, feel the rush. Get your news, get your fills in the clutch. Over 27 podcasts, we breaking it down. Join the team, Huddle Sports, wear the crown. Live every weekday, it's how we roll. Lions Talk with Jeremy B, we taking a stroll. From 11 to 12, don't miss a beat. We break down the game, make the info sweet. The Daily Huddle Podcast, noon to 1. CST Zone, we're just having fun. Toss your doubts, we bring the facts. Tune into the Huddle.